we're going to see what happens here, but let's go. We're off to the races. The ball was called out by Michelle Esquivel.
Michelle with a 1-0 lead.
Early 2-0 lead now. Lucy didn't seem to agree with that out call for Michelle on the first point, but I actually couldn't tell. But Michelle seemed confident, so.
Sometimes it's hard to tell from your perspective, and you really got to be on that court looking at it.
That's a great shot by Lucy. She does really well, it seems like, when she gets up to the kitchen, because she's so long and tall and athletic. She tends to cover the non-volley zone very well. It's hard to pass her when she gets up there. This looks more like tennis right here.
Yeah, I was going to say, we got a tennis match going on here, guys.
Boy, look at those strokes by both of them. Just dominant. Oh, man, what a boy. Lucy actually knew that was a winner before it hit the ground.
Unbelievable performance there.
Boy, that was nasty good right there. She went to the high side of the net, 36 inches. It proved not to be a great decision there. It didn't miss by a whole lot, though.
No, it certainly didn't. But a couple inches on the net can make or break that shot.
Yeah, that's a game of inches for sure. Boy, look at that. Not only did she get to that, but she got a cross-court hit. Boy, these two, this is like two boxers just standing in the middle of the ring, just slugging it out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is reminding me much more of a traditional tennis match.
Oh, for sure. And that makes sense because they're both from a big tennis background. So,
both playing to their strengths, right?
Absolutely. I'd like to change my vote. I'd like to say that Lucy. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow,
that's a great shot.
What a shot.
Hey, such confidence when they hit those shots. It's like they know they're going to go in when they hit it. Personally, I never know when mine's going to stay in.
Yeah, I'm happy if I get like 50% of them in on that. Push it a little bit wide there.
Well, and she has to hit that ball with a little more sharp ankle because if not, Lucy can get a paddle on it.
Yeah, I mean, she can cover so much of that net.
Absolutely. 7-3 here. This is interesting. We're seeing a little bit of back and forth.
Yeah,
here.
we are seeing a little bit of that here. We kind of went silent there for a moment just to see what was going to play out. But
yeah, I mean, you're going to see this sometimes. I mean, it's not. We'll just move on.
Yeah. The ball is a little bit wide there as well.
All right, 9-3 advantage for Lucy. We got a little bit of I don't know what you would call this. She's a little frustrated.
Michelle seemed a little bit frustrated there, and that's not something I've ever seen come out of her on a court before.
Well, there was a call. There was a call that she. Okay, so early in the match, like 0.2 or something, Michelle made a close call and called it out. Lucy disagreed. Then Lucy has made a couple close calls, and so it really has fired up. I feel like it's fired up both of them actually. But it's just good for the fans.
I agree. Oh, wow.
My goodness. This is so fun to watch.
I mean, they are battling it out. There are two gladiators out there fighting for their lives on this court.
Boy, I tell you, this is This is fun.
Yeah.
These two are literally going at it every single point.
And that's good. Yep. There's game one. Lucy Kovalova, 11-7 over Michelle Esquivel there. Yeah.
So we're going into game two, and this should prove to be very, very entertaining. If game one played out that way, I'm excited to see game two.
Yeah, Scott and I are kind of looking at each other right now in a little bit of awe, wondering what we're about to see happen out there.
So here's how I operate. I feel like in sports, when you're competing, like you're gonna have adrenaline up. Your adrenaline's gonna be up. Your blood's flowing. You're sweating. Okay, you're competing. So sometimes you're gonna have some a little bit of that. But this is gonna be fun for us as viewers.
I agree. Michelle's shot just a little bit long there.
Michelle choosing not to come up there. I thought after she hit that ball down the line to Lucy's backhand, I actually thought she was going to come up and try to cut that angle off, but she didn't. All right, 2-0. I think sometimes things can get in somebody's head a little bit and can affect their focus just slightly.
Absolutely.
She's got to find a way. I actually believe a timeout right now would probably be a good idea, but she's got to find a way to dig deep and recover mentally from the first game. We'll just say that. Yeah. Look, I mean, there's nothing wrong with disagreements, but like as a professional, you have to learn how to overcome that, right?
We go 1-4. Let's see if Michelle can kind of channel that and make a run here.
It's never over with the rally scoring, I'll tell you that.
Not. Got 5-1. Two 5 here. Lucy's ball went a little bit wide.
What are your thoughts on having line judges for these semifinals and finals, by the way?
You know, I mean, my gut is to always say line judges are a good thing, right? But I feel like if you ask a lot of the pros, they would rather call their own.
Yeah, but in a situation like this where you feel like there's a little bit of like back and forth, I mean, that's the best way I can say it. Like, don't you feel like it would be good to have some neutral like eyeballs watching?
Yeah, I definitely think it would. And I think that obviously humans are humans, but being able to like stare at a line consistently for hours on end and be able to appropriately, it's got to be challenging. So yeah, I love the idea of line judges. I think it would potentially help in a situation like this. But at the end of the day, I could also see why if I was a pro, I might not always want that. Got 10-3. That's the thing about rally scoring there, too, is that not only did Michelle get a side out in her favor, she also got a point, too. Now that 3-10 and became a 4-10, giving her another point to her advantage.
She's got a little breath of fresh air here. She got some hope.
Yeah.
L-
Michelle's making a little run here.
Michelle's stringing together a couple points in a row. And smart timeout by Lucy there. She recognized that Michelle didn't just lay down and give up.
And it's such a game of momentum, right? And so for you to be able to use that timeout to possibly break your opponent's momentum just gives you another leg up.
Michelle seems to have a smile on her face still, which is good. But there's no doubt she's flustered, and so is Lucy. They're both – you can just – you don't have to be a rocket scientist to kind of pick up on the body language right now.
Well, I think there's an energy on that court right now that would go along with that.
Yeah, and again, I want to really – it's okay to talk about this stuff. It's okay to have disagreements in sports. It's not like they're not going to always see eye to eye. You know what I mean? So it's okay.
100%.
We don't want to shy away from saying that, hey, there's a little bit of controversy in game one that now kind of spilled over into game two, but they're both professionals, and they've got to both figure out how to get over that.
And that's that.
Michelle's not one to really hold back. She's telling her.
Yeah, they didn't. Michelle doesn't seem to be too happy with perhaps some of the calls that Lucy had made there.
And, again, at the end of the day, I think having a line judge for these semifinals and finals might be a good idea. I'm sure for the finals they will. But at this point, they're not, so they just have to figure out how to get through that. Look, I think at the end of the day, man, competition's competition, and you got to find a way to dig deep and get through those controversial moments.
Yeah, and not let it bother you.
Or at least
channel that.
Well, it's going to bother you, but not let it bother you to the point where you lose your composure and can't focus on your task at hand. And I think Michelle did a great job. Honestly, I think both of them did a great job of remaining professional through the whole thing. Although we could tell there was a little bit of back and forth there, but I thought it was entertaining. Quite honestly, the game was still good. Very good shots back and forth by both of them.
That's right. And that's going to finish it for today's women's pro. That was the end of the semifinals. So in the final match, we are going to have Vivian David against Lucy Kovalova, and that is going to be on Monday. And I'm excited. That's going to be one heck of a matchup.
So we look forward to that match on Monday, and we're going to take a short break. And then if Frank Anthony Davis is kind of walking in front of the camera right now, I think they're getting ready to gear up for the men's singles, and that's going to be exciting.
Yes, guys, stay tuned. Plenty more action coming your way here on day one of the World Pickleball Championship.